Hello and welcome to another edition of the Quick Picks show on bookmakers.com TV. I'm joined by regular guest Darren Hughes, also a couple of infrequent guests, Adam Kenny and Colin Phelan. We'll have 4 picks from the panel here, including myself, of course. We're going to straddle UFC. We'll be horse racing in the UK. We will, of course, go to action from the NFL. And with the famous host banker now back in safe a pair of hands with yours truly, we'll step into the EPL for a bit of Premier League action this weekend. Alan Seslowski and Jim Coventry will be along with another week of NFL action and their best picks there, of course, from the fantasy and general sports wizards at worldtowire.com. Let's kick off. Adam, you're going to go first, and I believe we're into a bit of mixed martial arts from the UFC.
Yeah, getting UFC 280 on Saturday. The pick for me, it's not in the main event, it's in the co-main event. It's TJ Dillashaw looking to reclaim his bantamweight title against Aljamain Sterling. Dillashaw was stripped of the title back in March 2019 for failing a drugs test. Aljamain Sterling has recently won the title. Since being stripped of the championship, Dillashaw's had one fight. So we're talking one fight in 2.5 years. So he's really, 3.5 years. So yeah, he's really, he looks up against it, I guess, to in his quest to get his title back. Each of these fighters have had 21 fights in their career. Around about half of the fights for each of them have finished inside the distance. For Dillashaw, he's known as being a very, very violent fighter. 11 of his 21 fights finished inside the distance, 8 of them by knockout. Sterling similarly has had 21 fights, 10 finished inside the distance, and 8 of them are by submission. So we have a bit of a styles clash here. Sterling winning by submission looks like the call, but with Dillashaw being such a violent fighter, so little kind of recent fight action, there's bound to be some rust there. He probably is coming into this in the mindset that he's going to need to finish this fight early if he's going to win, because he might not last the full 5 rounds with his recent kind of match practice. Everything in this one points towards it finishing early, and you can back the fight not going the distance at 6-4 or plus 150 for our friends in the States.
Okay, UFC 280, Sterling versus Dillashaw. Fight not to go the distance, 6-4 or plus 150. Thank you, Adam. Let's ditch into a little bit of NFL. Colin Phelan, where you go?
Yes, Dean. So jumping back over to the NFL this weekend for an anytime touchdown score bet in LA as the Seattle Seahawks travel to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. And here I'm back in the Chargers tight end Gerald Everett to find pay dirt anytime during the contest at odds of 13-8 or plus 162.5. So firstly, the Seahawks are pretty woeful when it comes to defending any pass catchers, and in particular against tight ends. They've been allowing over 5 catches a game for 85 plus yards and average over half a touchdown a game to players in that position. Prior to last week, they've allowed 39 points, 45 points, 27 and 27. So, the under-roll for this game is 50. So there's plenty of points to go around. The Chargers themselves are considered like quite a high-powered offense. Their quarterback, Justin Herbert, he's going to be a week healthier from a rib injury he suffered a couple of weeks ago, so I expect him to be kind of firing on all cylinders here. Their number one receiver, Keenan Allen, is a bit banged up, and probably the most important factor of this is that this Sunday is literally National Tight Ends Day. So if you're planning on sitting down to watch Red Zone this weekend, you should prepare yourself to hear that at any given opportunity. But hopefully one of those is from Everett finding the end zone. So at 13-8 or plus 162.5, I think you should get a great one for your money on this.
Okay, Gerald Everett, anytime touchdown scorer for, in the Seahawks against the Chargers. Let's stick stateside, head over to Alan Seslowski and Jim Coventry at rotowire.com.
I'm Alan Seslowski along with Jim Coventry from RotoWire, and here are our 2 favorite bets against the spread in Week 7.
I'm picking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers minus 10.5 over the Carolina Panthers. The Bucs are 3-3 and coming off an embarrassing loss against the Steelers team that was missing its 3 top cornerbacks, along with free safety Minkah Fitzpatrick. The Bucs cannot afford to go below 500. Tom Brady will not let a second straight disappointing performance happen as he faces a Panthers defense that's below average in pressure rate and pass coverage per Pro Football Focus. Not only will the offense get on track, but the Bucs defense is in a great spot. Panthers quarterback PJ Walker has played in 11 games and he's thrown 2 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. The Carolina offense will face an elite Buccaneers defense and won't be able to move the ball with any consistency. Although they do have Christian McCaffrey, he won't be enough from keeping this from being a blowout. I predict the Bucs win this one 31-10.
One of the biggest surprises of the 2022 season are the 5-1 New York Giants. You have to wonder what's going on in the minds of former coaches Joe Judge and Jason Garrett, who garnered only 4 wins with this same roster mostly intact. The obvious upgrade in coaching, star running back Saquon Barkley playing his best football of his career, and putting quarterback Daniel Jones in optimal situations are utilizing his strengths are what's contributing the biggest factors to why the Giants are winning games this year. The Giants have one of the worst wide receiver cores in all of the NFL, but they're still piecing it together with players like rookie tight end Big Dan Bellinger. The Giants are getting 3 points in Jacksonville, still trying to find their identity behind second-year quarterback Trevor Lawrence. These teams are not that far apart in overall talent and skill level. Many people don't believe the Giants are as good as their record or a top 10 power-ranked team that they currently are. NFL gamblers know what that means. Line value. I had this game at a pick'em or Giants -1 on the road in Jacksonville. You're going to give me a field goal? I'll take the G-men plus the points in week 7.
Okay, welcome back to the panel here on the Quick Pick Show on bookmakers.com TV. That was Jim and Alan at RotoWire. Prior to that, of course, we had Adam on the UFC and Collie on the NFL. It's time for a change of tact here. We're going horse racing. We're in the Emerald Isle, Darren.
Yeah, the Emerald Isle indeed, Dean, not the UK, as you said in your intro. We are going to the Airfield Stakes at 4:20 Leopardstown tomorrow afternoon. Unsurprisingly, Aidan O'Brien has the majority of the field here, or close to the majority. He's running 3 of the 7, and unsurprisingly, he has the favourite. I think he has the wrong horse has been installed as favourite, trained by him, and I think Gulf of Mexico is the best of his 3. I haven't seen a horse look as clueless as this in quite some time. His second run in Punchestown, he looked like he'd never seen a race course before, and generally you expect a horse to improve leaps and bounds from first run to second. Got his act together down in Killarney, beating a good horse in the shape of Sea Legend, and did it very, very professionally. The time was really, really good. The ground was very soft that day, but the time was really, really good compared to older horses on the same card, when you'd expect the 2-year-olds to struggle over the mile distance, especially in the soft ground it was in Killarney that day. He's expected to lead, which I like, around Leopardstown. It has become something of a front runner's track in recent years. Amara Takes the Ride, he rode a winner during the week for Michael O'Callaghan, so he is in at least some sort of form, and I think the 1 mile 1 trip is going to suit Gulf of Mexico. He looks like he is all stamina. I do respect the challenge of Hiawatha, the other 5-1 shot trained by Aidan O'Brien in the race, and I think Hippodrome has a good bit to find to match up to this lad. So Gulf of Mexico at 5-1. Pity there's not 8 runners and you could back it each way, but at 5-1 or plus 500, I think he makes a fairly stonking win bet at that price.
Okay, 4:20 Leopardstown, that's the Airfield Stakes. Gulf of Mexico, pillar to post or wire to wire, as they say in America, 5-1 or plus 500. Now, the host banker, I don't want to, harp too long on about what happened last week, but it didn't go well. So the host banker this week, we're going back to the EPL and the Premier League. Manchester City take on Brighton at 3:00 on Saturday in the Premier League. I do fancy Manchester City to win. Of course, why wouldn't you? They are on a fantastic run of form, and of course, have Erling Haaland, the cheat code up front for them in the Premier League this season. Now, Brighton, who they're playing, have been unlucky, I think, not to have had better results since the switch of manager. I do think they'll get on the score sheet this weekend against Man City. Like I say, Man City will win, but not without a fair scare from a good footballing team in Brighton, who won't block. They will play. I fancy them to at least get on the score sheet, but Man City to win. And you can back that Man City to win and both teams to score at 9-5 or plus 180. That is the host banker this week. All the bets now from our panel here, and of course our friends at rotowire.com on the screen now. If you're getting involved, best of luck. Hopefully we return to some kind of form where we landed that 100-1 ACCA just 2 weeks ago. You've been watching the Quick Pick Show on bookmakers.com TV, and we'll see you all again next week.